review. Hello, Internet viewers. I'm the Fairly OddGamer. Well, this is it, the finale of Sonic Classic Games Month. And if you've seen my last review, you probably Sonic, can you please stop shouting?
Oh, okay. Wait. Why do I have a beard? Do you mind if I wish my neck beard off?
Sure. Wish away.
I wish I had no neck beard.
You got it.
Oh, that's better. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. No!
Stop. The longer you scream, the longer it's going to take us to finish this review.
Fair enough. Let's finish this!
During the late 90s, technology has changed because more video games have begun to evolve from 2D to 3D thanks to the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation, and of course, the Sega Saturn. Most importantly, video games went through the transition from cartridges to discs. So in order to steady the competition, Sega decided to make games for the Saturn that would hopefully keep them in the running. Out of all the Saturn games in the beginning, none of them had featured the blue blur. Well, except for Sonic 3D Blast, but that was also a Genesis title.
However, in 1997, there would be one Sega Saturn game that would hopefully be the selling point for Sonic's career on the Saturn. That game is Sonic R. What does the R stand for? I don't know. It doesn't say, but we are to assume it most likely stands for racing.
And before you say anything, we're both aware of the Sonic Drift games and how it failed to replicate the already popular Super Mario Kart. But nowadays we have Sega All-Stars Racing as well as Transformed, and most recently Team Sonic Racing, which also uses the R. But how does Sonic R fare to the other Sonic Racing games? Let's find out. Like Sonic 3D Blast, Sonic R was developed by Traveler's Tales. You can actually move around the 3D R on the title screen. That's cool, I guess. Before you race, you can choose between Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. But there are other characters that you have to unlock. How do you unlock them, you ask? More on that later.
Hey, all the tracks start with R. Maybe that's what the R stands for.
No, it's probably just a coincidence. Resort Island is your typical Green Hill Zone if it were a racetrack. But I actually like the music for this course. And speaking of which, the music is something you'll either admire or despise.
We won't talk about the music too much, but only because it's already been talked about to death. And Radical City is the city track of Sonic R, obviously, but it does have springs, pinball features, and a slot machine you can't even use. Oh man. Music in this track is good too.
Regal Ruins is probably one of the most confusing levels in the game because it can be pretty difficult to navigate. That is, if you know where you're going. By the way, I really like the different weather effects, especially the ice aesthetic, but only because you can actually run on the frozen water. But other than that, be sure to avoid the water as much as possible. Otherwise you can't run very fast even when holding the acceleration button.
Reactive Factory is a little more linear than Regal Ruin, but it does have its problems. For example, to get the Chaos Emerald, you have to wait for the machine to pop it out. However, despite the machine being out in the open, you still have to enter the door with the rings in order to get it. Why? I don't know. Ask Traveler's Tales. This level does have multiple paths, however they don't really matter in the long run because they ultimately take the same amount of time to get through them if you do it right.
Finally, there's Radiant Emerald, which is only available if you get first place in the other 4 tracks. Think of it as this game's Rainbow Road, only less trippy. Plus you get different music if you play as Super Sonic. There are no Chaos Emeralds or coins to collect, and getting first place in this course lets you unlock Robotnik.
After choosing your course, the race can begin. You begin to notice that unlike Sonic Drift, Sonic and friends race on foot. That is, except for Amy and Robotnik, who both drive in vehicles. Don't pick them, by the way, they kinda stink.
Also, each character has its own special ability. Sonic can double jump and is considered the fastest out of the original 4. Tails can fly, therefore making shortcuts easier. Knuckles can glide and has the best handling overall, and Amy has a speed boost which doesn't really work well in my opinion. Because of this, I wouldn't recommend racing as Amy unless you know all the shortcuts. Dr. Robotnik rides his Eggmobile and can launch bombs at opponents within a close range. In regards to gameplay, it's pretty much mixed. You accelerate by pressing up or the acceleration button, whichever the controller is mapped as. You can also turn normally, but I find turning or steering to be off at times. That's why I always use the L and R triggers whenever turning, and that's something I suggest you do for every race. It'll make the game much easier for you. Oh, did I say easier? I meant too easy.
While racing, you can obtain 5 character tokens and or the chaos symbols scattered around each track. Collecting the character tokens is your only ticket to unlocking a new character in the game. If you manage to find them all and finish within the top 3, you then have to race against one of the extra characters, and winning the race unlocks that character.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the extra characters. They include Mel Sonic from Sonic CD, Tails Doll, Mel Knuckles, and the Egg Robo from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Out of the extras, I prefer racing as Mel Sonic and or Mel Knuckles because they pretty much act the same way as their counterparts, except Mel Sonic's inability to double jump.
I also want to point out that you have to collect rings for the following purposes: triggering a speed boost, and unlocking these shortcut gates that may contain a character token or one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which you can keep if you finish first in the race. And you all know what happens after finding all 7 Chaos Emeralds. You guessed it! Super Sonic!
Let's be real here. While it is amazing to race as Super Sonic at first, it starts to wear off a bit because Super Sonic is pretty much the game breaker. Why? Well, not only is he the fastest out of everyone, but he also has a double jump to boot. This leads to my main problem with the game: the replayability, or rather lack thereof. It can take at least half an hour to collect everything, including Super Sonic, and having to race in 5 courses doesn't interest me in the slightest. Also, if you play as the regular characters, then you only race against the regulars. But if you play as one of the extra characters, then you have to race against Super Sonic, and you'll more than likely lose because of how broken he is. That is, again, if you know all the shortcuts. But we're not done yet because there's still one more game to talk about. So let's finish off the review and the month with Sonic the Fighters.
Hey dudes, what's going on?
Oh hey Hux, I'm about to talk about Sonic the Fighters with Sonicify.
Nice! Oh, by the way, Sonicify, are you feeling any better?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, Hux. Don't worry.
That's good to hear. I do want to apologize for breaking you.
Thank goodness it's the last week of Sonic Classic Games Month.
Yeah, time flies when you're playing games. Anyway, I just want to see what's up. Later, dudes!
So what do you say, Sonicify? Are you ready to finish the month?
Most definitely, gamer.
Alright! Let's finish this! It's interesting to know that Sonic the Fire started out as an arcade game in 1996 and was technically Sonic's jump into 3D. Yep, before Sonic 3D Blast, there was this game. Not only that, but the game uses the same engine as another Sega fighting game, Fighting Vipers. So think Virtua Fighter but with Sonic characters.
As you can tell from the title, Sonic the Fighters is a fighting game in which you fight your opponent and win a best 2 out of 3 match. So it's your basic one-on-one tournament fighter, like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, just with no blood, no gore, and no Sub-Zero whipping out someone's spinal cord.
Fatality.
Since the story is nowhere to be seen in the Sonic Gems Collection manual, I had to search up the game's story online. After hours of research, here's what I found out. After Mel Sonic transforms into a Star Fox ship, a bunch of robots are sent out to destroy the world courtesy of Dr. Robotnik. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Robotonic.
Wait, what?
Back on land, Tails receives a video message from Espio showing Robotonic's dispatching of evil robots from his ship, the Death Egg 2. But based on the look alone, this might have been the inspiration for the map used in Sonic Colors. However, Sonic decides that the only way to reach the Death Egg is a single-seat rocket ship called the Lunar Fox, which requires not 7, but 8 Chaos Emeralds for launch. But neither the rocket nor the 8th Chaos Emerald are ever talked about again. But where are these Chaos Emeralds, you ask? Well, each Chaos Emerald is guarded by Sonic's friends so that they're not misused by Robotonic.
At the start of the game, you have a choice of 8 characters to play as. They include Sonic, Tails, Amy Rose, Knuckles, Fang the Sniper, Beam the Dynamite, Mark the Polar Bear, and Espio. Once you choose your character, the game begins.
Since it's technically a console port of an arcade game, the controls are a bit hard to comprehend. You can punch, kick, and use a barrier to guard your opponent's attacks. But don't use them too often because you have a limited amount of barriers per match. In addition, you can input multiple button combos to perform special moves like dodging, throwing, and even hyper mode at the risk of losing one barrier. However, there are some moves that are more than likely impossible to do with a controller. And you better know what you're doing because your opponent can attack you at any point. Any damage you take will make you lose rings. And no, you can't retrieve them back in this game. They're gone for good.
There are also times when you have to fight against yourself. Whenever this happens, Robotonic creates a clone of yourself and you have to defeat it.
I found you, faker!
So now that we have the general gameplay out of the way, let's get to the game. We start off with South Island, in which you fight Knuckles the Echidna. You can actually breeze this battle with no problem if you know what you're doing. The winner of the match is a character that gets 2 wins, whether by knockout or having more health at the end of the round. If you manage to defeat your opponent, you're then granted a Chaos Emerald, and you move on to the next level.
Up next we have Flying Carpet, where you fight Amy Rose armed with her Pico Hammer. It's basically a desert stage with pyramids and a flying carpet.
A magic carpet?
And by the way, no, we are not making another Anakin Skywalker sand joke. We already did that in a different review. Next.
Moving on, we have Aurora Ice Field. It's here where we fight Bart the Polar Bear using his brute strength and athletics. I actually had a hard time fighting him because most of his combos can lead to brutal damage. Also, like Ice Cap in Sonic 3, this level has no ice physics, even though you're literally standing on an ice cube.
Next up is Mushroom Hill, where you fight SBO the Chameleon. This level has mushrooms, but other than that, it looks nothing like Mushroom Hill Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Next level, Canyon Cruise. You have to fight Tails on a moving speedboat on an endless river. Because Tails can fly, Tails can perform a move called the Airplane Drop, in which he lifts you in the air and drops you at a dangerous height, which results in losing half of your health. Yeah, the health meters in this game are pretty much self-explanatory.
Next level is Casino Night, where you fight Fang the Sniper. This level at least looks like Casino Night Zone from Sonic 2, but it can get unpleasant to the eye with the black background and all the bright colors in the foreground.
Not to mention, Fang has a pop gun throughout the whole battle, which can sometimes be difficult to dodge. However, you can use Fang's sniper to your advantage by shooting him if you use your toss attack at the right time. Anyway, we move on to Dynamite Planet, in which we fight Bean the Dynamite. As the name implies, Bean has the ability to throw explosives. In this case, it's bombs. Similar to Fang, you can also use Bean's bombs to your advantage by literally shoving a bomb into Bean's mouth, and therefore causing his head to explode. Good thing there's no blood in this game.
Up next is Giant Wing, inspired off of Wing Fortress Zone from Sonic 2. It's here where you fight your own clone, or Sonic depending on who you're playing as, on a giant ship that I'm guessing Eggman built?
After collecting the last Chaos Emerald, you then take the Lunar Fox to the Death Egg 2. It's here where you have to fight Mel Sonic. Let me tell you right now that Mel Sonic is the most relentless character I've ever fought. Not only can it dash, but it can also perform the airplane drop like Tails. Thankfully this game has unlimited lives, so you can immediately try again if you lose the match. Unless you're either skilled or just plain lucky, you will lose to Mel Sonic. Over, and over, and over, and over again! Eventually you do beat Mel Sonic, but uh-oh, the Death Egg 2 is about to collapse. However, you're then challenged by Robotonic in his mech suit for the final battle. Thankfully you have the power of the Chaos Emeralds to take Robotonic down. But unlike the previous battles, you only have one shot to take down Robotonic within 15 seconds. Otherwise, the game will be over. However, if you do defeat Robotonic within the time limit, he or she manages to escape via Lunar Fox as the Death Egg 2 blows up into smithereens. But Robotonic and Mel Sonic somehow escape as they fly back to the planet.
So Gamer, what do you think of Sonic R and Sonic the Fighters?
Honestly, I like both of them. Both of these games tried their best of having Sonic in a 3D environment a couple years before Sonic Adventure made the successful leap. Sonic R has a simple concept of having Sonic and his friends mostly racing on foot, and I personally believe that's how Sonic is supposed to be. I love how you can explore new areas, whether for finding certain objects or by means of taking a shortcut, but after a while it begins to wear off, especially after unlocking all the characters and even Super Sonic. There's not much replayability despite having to race through 5 levels, and I feel like there's nothing left to do after you unlock everything. And once you know how to handle each character, you can easily breeze through this game. Sonic the Fighters, on the other hand, is another beast in comparison. It is difficult to map everything from an arcade machine to a game controller, and this clearly shows. While you are able to perform simple moves as well as combos, some of the more complex combos are just not possible to do on a controller. But other than that, I do like how the console version matches the arcade game in regards to the graphics. Whether or not the levels are based on levels from the previous games, they look pretty good for an arcade game. I also don't think the music from Sonic the Fighters is that memorable, except for Mel Sonic, but only because I had to fight him numerous times. However, I really like the music in Sonic R because it has great quality, and the music for each level is memorable in its own right. Even though both Sonic Art and Sonicify are pretty good games overall, they just haven't aged very well for me. But I can still recommend them just for curiosity alone.
To me, both these games are just okay. Sonic R is way too easy once you get the turning controls down. And Sonicify, while more playable and easy to get used to, the game does have its tough moments and can feel very cheap sometimes. And, well, that's about it. Due to me having not that much memory of playing these games that much, I really don't have much to say. Sorry about that.
And with that, we finally reached the end of Sonic Classic Games Month. And thank you, Sonicify, for—
Hey guys! Charmy B, what are you doing here?
I heard you were doing a Sonic Classic Games Month. Are you gonna review Knuckles Chaotix?
No!
Oh, man!
Anyway, thank you, Sonicify, for helping out.
No problem, gamer. Oh yeah, one more thing.
Yes?
You forgot to unlock the doors.
Oh, right. I wish to unlock Sonicify's doors and let him roam free.
I'm free! I'm free!
Nothing's better than the sight of sweet success. And recently, I managed to hit 500 subscribers on this channel. So, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. Thank you all so much for the support and the enjoyment of my content. And I do hope that I reach the important milestone that is 1,000 subscribers before the year's end. I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
Wait a minute. Right, my house is that way. Silly me, bye.
How's it going, dudes? Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Also, be sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as my character buddies on TikTok and video commissions. Links to those in the description below. Speaking of character buddies, here's one of them right now to finish out the video.
Ah, bless me bagpipes. Hello, everyone. I'm Scrooge McDuck, the richest duck in the world, and I'm here to remind you that you can support this very channel on Patreon. As a supporter, you'll be granted access to the Discord server, have your name featured in the credits, and bonus content, including a sneak peek and or an early showing of upcoming game reviews. Before concluding, I must give a special shout out to Alexander Bourne, also known as Wisdom Tot, for possibly having some gold in his back pocket. So thank you one and all for watching the video and supporting the channel. And if you excuse me, I've got to go check on the status of me money bin. I don't want to be wasting any more this time around. Also got to check if the Beagle Boys are hanging about.